Palamahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa, The African Perspective.
Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to On the Move here on Channel Africa, giving you the African perspective. Join us on channelafrica.co.za, the DSTV 802 and OpenView 628 audio bouquets, as well as the Channel Africa app. So it's going to be a great 3 hours, lots to chat about. But first, how was your weekend, Benj?
Hey, it was good. Valentine's Day, I got a lap dance, which is nice.
Yeah. Nice.
How was your Valentine's
spicy.
Day?
I also got a lap dance. So anywho,
let's not elaborate. This is a child-friendly show.
Exactly, it is. And speaking about children, we're going to start off a conversation with those first years in university, just after orientation. How do they actually start getting used to the university system so that they can be set up for success?
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. And also what's coming up is our African debate that we have. And today we're going to be looking at something that I saw where during the Valentine's season in the US, you had these restaurants that were hosting guys just as a way to like, okay, come in and hang out with AI and have a date with AI. There was food, there was cocktail, there's everything, and you just stay on a date with AI. Interesting one, eh?
Interesting one. Stay with us. This is On the Move. Let's go.
Sit down on it, fine girl. Sit down on it. Every other day, just sit down on it. Top,
yeah.
boy.
Tell me, baby girl, how you do? Oh? Baby, tell me, make I know how you do. Oh? Baby, tell me how much I could pay. Oh? I will go fly, go anywhere for holiday. Oh? This love, now one angolo. This love, now one thing, yo. They could play like with the movie, yo. They can play where you go, they play mommy, oh. Mommy, oh, mommy, oh, mommy, oh. Girl, now me go, they play daddy, oh. Girl, if you be baby, I be nanny, oh. See how she fine like a banyo, yeah. Show my kalangolo, oh. Why show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving. Show my kalangolo, oh. Why show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
Anywhere you day, I go there, oh. Long as I day with my baby, oh. Waiting them don't know them boy here too. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. Carry the matter for their head, you. Please me, baby, make I rest you. Nobody do me like you do. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo. This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo.
Baby girl, I love you, sit down on it. Baby girl, come run up on it. I know you love this beat, sweet melanin. Oh, Ghana, you could be my sweet senorita. American girl, come wine up for me. My Jamaican girls, come wine up for me. My Jota girls, come wine up for me. My Caribbean girls, come bust up for me. Yo, show my kalangolo, oh. Why show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
London boy, come give it to me.
Oh, we're starting off with this one. It's a very sexy one. DJ Spinall featuring Wizkid and Tiwa Savage. This love. The Valentine's is over though, guys. So let's go in another direction.
Valentine's is never over.
10 minutes past 9 Central Africa time.
Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane.
Lelita, talk to us about your relationship with your father, Coach Pitso. What is this one thing that he said to you that is still stuck at the top of your head?
Coach Pitso and our mom, Moira Kakale, have always told us that whatever we do in life, we must do it to the best of our abilities and, represent our family well. But the big thing is do what you love and do it with all the passion that you have. And I think we see it in both their work. I mean, my mom has done a really good job with placing Coach Pizzo in different clubs around the world, and she's negotiated contracts, and she's showing that as a woman you can also do work that is seen, and you can also get respect from men in a male-dominated space. And I think my dad has also shown that you must never underestimate the Black African man.
Lelintle Musimane, a South African communications and digital media professional. Lelintle is also a daughter to a great mentor when it comes to the game of football, Coach Jingles Musimane.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
You know, my niece just recently started her journey in the first year of university.
Okay,
She's gone to
nice.
the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. So she's moved provinces altogether.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been super excited about her. I've been literally stalking her WhatsApp statuses as she posts like new exciting things about her new life in a new city and
that's
this
great.
new varsity experience. And I saw, the videos when she went to orientation day and she's like, oh, it's so exciting. She took pictures of the banner of the library and all sorts of things, right? And she's also though started studying even before orientation started because she wanted to get ahead of it. And that's what we're speaking about in this hour of the show. Although it is quite exciting for these new first year students to sort of get into the life of university, be part of this community that's so different from your normal life, the real work can actually start hitting hard right from the get-go. And that's why we want to speak about this today. How can new students navigate the challenges to come out on top, particularly in their first year? Joining us in this one is Dingan Moropane, the campus head at the IIE's Rosebank College. Thank you so much for joining us, Dingan. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to your listeners,
Yes.
Palesa, and good morning to you as well, Benjamin.
Thank
It's
you,
certainly an exciting time, isn't it? I mean, these young ones are being catapulted into this new world where they also have a sense of independence and so many other things that they get to see there. But I don't think most of them are ready to understand how the education at university works very differently from where they've been in high school.
Great, Palesa. It's quite an interesting moment for many matriculants, the transitioning of the basic education into higher education. And what we often say is there is this thing called orientation week. And during orientation week, that's where actual critical information about the qualification, about the institution requirements, about assignments, about classes are shared. But equally, what we also say is that during the orientation week, because we're wanting to, ease and put students at ease in terms of not feeling too intimidated about the higher education space. Like you mentioned about your cousin, where we've got quite a lot of students, coming out of different geographical locations into closer of these higher education institutions. Some, it means traveling out of a province that they used to have a support structure and coming into like a completely new environment. Now, with orientation, what normally happens is we want to ease them, we pay them, we expose them. So there's a lot of fun that is normally accompanied by orientation. But orientation only lasts a week. And immediately at the end of the week, the real business of higher education begins. The academic pressure sets in. We often get a lot of students on day one not even knowing where to attend their classes. And I think, that's when, sometimes panic would come in.
Let's speak about the importance of orientation. You spoke briefly about some of the things that happened during that week, but why is it so important for these, kids to actually have this orientation season before their classes start?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that question, Palesa. Orientation week is quite a critical week where, the academic information is shared. Students receive timetables. They receive a module registration confirmation around the number of modules they are going to do this year or this semester. They receive what we call assessment planners, where it shows them when the first set of assessments are due. During orientation, quite a lot of academic information is discussed, including like I mentioned, things like your timetables, venues you're going to attend, how often your classes are going to take place, what is required, including things like even access to systems, because these days there is quite a good integration of technology into how students learn, access to systems where they're going to download the academic material, they're going to have access to that. So during that week, it's really spent on ensuring that students actually it's quite a critical week that sets students for academic success throughout the year. You miss that orientation week, you're going to struggle throughout the year, and you're going to constantly find yourself under pressure or uninformed or missing quite a couple of things.
Yeah, one of those things that happen during this time is that there's also that separation anxiety from the family environment to the, I'm on my own, I'm in college, and this is a place where I have to venture out on my own. And then there's also just anxiety also from the parents themselves saying, is this one going to cope? And am I going to cope without them? What would you advise for parents and also their children to do to create a good separation, but also to stay in touch during that first phase of orientation?
Thank you. Thank you, Benjamin. We do, as I mentioned earlier on, that many of these students, potentially they leave their homes, they leave, the structures that were there in high schools. They would be having a teacher that looks after them. They've attended. If not, they'll call a parent and all of that. And then they now travel to this higher education or find themselves in these higher education spaces where now, as you mentioned, isolation sets in. And now there's that sense of loneliness or sense of belonging. Sometimes what we often see, even in some of the students, is homesick, and it does have an impact on the academic and the emotional support that they require. What we normally recommend is that we do have in many higher education institutions what we call student support wellness department, where students can, even during orientation, we really encourage students to do networking as early as possible. During this orientation, like I mentioned, there's normally fun spaces, there's normally pairing of students. So we encourage students to rather start, networking, join your peer, meet, because even if you come from, let's say, for example, you come from KZN and you're studying in Joburg as an example, I'm sure you would bump into people that come from the same province. And if you're lucky, you can actually even bump into people that have went to the same school. So we really encourage students to go out there, network as much as possible, not only just, looking for the peers that they've got, meet the tutors, meet the lecturers. In many higher education institutions, what we also say is there's quite a lot of, student initiatives such as, reading clubs, gym, clubs, societies, cultural societies. We encourage you to join that, because then the moment you participate and start finding yourself in these small communities, you've got that sense of belonging. To parents, it also going to set quite an emotional state where now you are used to meeting your child every day after school, and now you are sending them away 400 kilometers outside their home. What we often encourage, and this is for me is quite a critical one, Benjamin and Palesa, is what we encourage parents to do is stay in touch. If we have to do like a phone call every Friday just to check in, see how you're doing, have you settled in, where do you stay, who do you share with, do you know the person? Are you emotionally okay? Sometimes doing surprise visits into these higher education institutions, they are allowed. Come in, bring scuffed in as an example, meet the child, make sure that they continue having that sense of support, not only just from their peers in the higher education, but even their parent or sponsor support. In cases where there are relatives near those institutions, we encourage the relatives to come in and really show up for the students. Because in that way, it will remove or reduce that sense of isolation and loneliness.
Incredible. All right, let's take a break, Dingan. We'll come back. And I want to speak about the mindset, because it seems like all of this starts with the mindset of these young ones. They will go through some of those rookie mistakes that these little ones do that actually set them up for disaster, and how they can replace some of these with more positive ones, like some of the ones that you mentioned right now, in order to set themselves up for success as well. So if you're a parent, a guardian, an auntie or an uncle to someone who's starting their journey in university, or maybe finishing their journey in primary education, you should definitely be listening closely.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. 9 to 12 midday, Central African Time. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Hey, maybe you're a mom and you are thinking right now, oh, my daughter or my son is no longer here. They've just completed this orientation season that we are currently just wrapping up in universities. And also there's that separation anxiety. Today we've got a guest to help us on this one. Dingan Moropane, the campus head at the IIE's Rosebank College. And we speak about how to move things forward post orientation, but also how to facilitate that orientation season in a way that is going to be beneficial for a first year. And being a first year is daunting, right? Because it's a new environment, but also you've got that people factor that you need to get yourself into as a student, socialize yourself, as you've been saying, join the clubs in that university. But one of the things that can happen is that you can easily lose why you were there, that you're there for education, not just for the social aspects of things. And I think some of those are the biggest mistakes, when you just get taken away by the wind of popularity, or also just the custom of just being away from home and you forget the education focus. How do we make sure that, the first years are focused and they know that, this is the goal to actually wrap things up in 3 years' time?
Thanks, Benjamin. I fully agree with you. What we often say as one of the mistakes that first years in particular make is, neglecting the physical and mental health, which are quite critical to survive first year university. By sacrificing a balance for what we call the university experience. Because of the independence, now I'm no longer home. I eat what I want to eat. Too many late night outs, or just sitting around all day and doing nothing. Energy crashes. You catch every buck going around, and mentally you start feeling frayed around the edges way sooner than expected. And what we normally encourage students to do, Palesa and Benjamin, is they gotta practice discipline around that independence.
Sure.
And when I just mentioned a few things, prioritizing, just sleeping, because that also is quite important. There'll be times where you gotta put in more hours, but you can imagine if you're not sleeping now, when you are required to then put more hours in 2 weeks' time, how is it gonna be? So prioritizing an 8 hour sleep nightly, it's quite an important health and then mental thing that one needs to exercise. Scheduling regular balanced meals. In many institutions, we see students being in self-catering environments, or being given the option of choosing what they need to eat. But I think balanced dietary is quite important, because we often say a healthy body and a healthy mind. Incorporating movements, like I mentioned earlier on, gyms, taking walks, participating in sports. And again, what you mentioned earlier on, Benjamin, is you gotta set boundaries around socializing and partying. It's very easy to fall into that trap of having friends that often they will create their own time, and you'll be their entertainment time. So they would go and study, and whenever they want to take a break, they'll come to you and say, no, let's go out, let's take a walk. So it's quite important that you set those boundaries quite strictly, to say, okay, every Friday from 3 o'clock until 5 p.m., I can go and watch a movie or take a walk or go into gym. But 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, I'm studying. I'm looking at what we covered this week. I'm making notes and all of that. So those boundaries are very critical. View self-care as an essential fuel, and a balanced social life with study responsibilities to sustain the long-term performance and the well-being.
My niece and I had a conversation before she left for Cape Town, and the one thing that I wanted to tell her was to use the resources that are on campus to her greatest ability. And that's because you come from, a school environment where all you have is the teaching and maybe a little tuck shop for your food. But here it's almost like a campus is almost like a mini city that has clinics on board, mental health support, mentorship support, and academic support. How important is it to use the resources of the campus to the best of your ability in order to get the necessary support on all ends in navigating your journey in university?
Thank you, Palesa. It's quite important. And what we say is many students don't use these resources as early as possible. Sometimes they would come in when it's too late. So it's quite important that students are familiar with the support space in higher education. They shouldn't hesitate to approach lecturers, to actually know the consulting hours of their lecturers, of their tutors, to know the operating resources and availability of like a department called student wellness, and support services, access to academic advising, counseling, writing centers, financial aid. They gotta use these resources as early as possible. And one of the tips I want to share with you, Palesa, that many of the first years don't know. If you attend your lecturers and you consult with your lecturers, your tutors, you are regular in the support center, there is a record that is kept. At any point when you require support or academic counseling, the lecturers are even quite familiar with you in class. They can see you. You actually pave the environment in that at any point you can go back to that lecturer. You almost create that relationship with the lecturer that will assist you in future. Should you struggle with something, there are records to say, but this particular student has been, attending tutorials, has been to the student wellness, has been utilizing this thing that we call learner management system, where they're doing additional activities, they're accessing recommended materials. Those resources can actually be used to leverage your success and mitigate any factors that may impact your academic success going forward. So it is quite critical, Palesa, that they make use of these resources. And what is also important is they make use of these resources as early as possible. Don't wait a day before the assignment. That's when you're going to the writing center. Go now, understand what is being offered there. Go look at your assignment and make sure that, okay, for this particular section of my assignment, I would need the writing center because they've explained what they can offer.
Well, they're no longer school bells, and mommy's not waking you up in the morning with urgency to get into the school transport, right? And that's one of those things that you can actually take advantage of as a student. Any advice there on reminders?
Yes. Poor time management and chronic procrastination, Benjamin, as you put it, when no longer a principal comes out and then we run into classrooms or bells or all of those things. The recommendation there is get yourself a planner. It could be digital. It could be a physical calendar based on your timetable from day one. Plot all the assignment due dates, plot when you're taking breaks, when you're going to be in the library, when you're going to be in the writing center, and have it and break it down into manageable chunks, either daily or weekly, and start your work as early as possible. I think what would make many of this first year to survive is understanding that the independence come with the responsibility, but for you to fulfill that responsibility, it's not as simple as creating a planner and being disciplined towards adhering to the planner.
Well, great tips that you've given us, Dingan. Thank you for joining us here on Channel Africa. Where can we go to find out more about Rosebank College, or maybe if you have your own social media platforms, if you give such advice online?
Thank you. Thank you, Palesa and Benjamin, for the discussion. Anyone who wants to follow Rosebank College can go into www.rosebankcollege.co.za. And I'm Dingan Moropane on any of the socials. Thank you very much and good day.
Wonderful conversation. Yeah, we're wrapping up orientation, and I hope that the first years are ready for their new adventure of education. So many things to balance, right? Okay, we'll talk a little bit later about this one. Let's get our latest sports. It's 9:30 Central African Time.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
First up, it's football news this hour. The future of Veron Musengo Omba, a General Secretary of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has come under intense scrutiny following recent remarks by CAF President Patrice Motsepe on retirement rules within the Confederation. Musengo Omba's absence from the ongoing CAF Executive Committee meeting in Dar es Salaam has only added fuel to speculation about his tenure. Addressing allegations that Musengo Omba may be occupying his post illegally, Mutsebe clarified.
The retirement is governed by our rules and regulations, and we deal with those things in accordance with not just legality but governance. So we will take the best decision as CAF concerning employees. Now, I've got so many I don't know, I'll get guidance, Sengo, you might know. In many companies, when you reach a retirement age, the leadership, the board can extend it for a year on a year basis, or they can decide to find somebody else. So we will deal with that in accordance with not just our rules and regulations, but also in accordance with governance, global best practices.
Wheelchair basketball. South Africa's wheelchair team head coach Phamandla Gumbi has expressed his excitement after several senior players secured international contracts for the 2026 season. This follows confirmation from Wheelchair Basketball South Africa, WBSA, that Ayabonga Jim, Shane Williams, Ola Yalezo, and youngsters Pelelo Dlamini have recently signed professional deals in Spain and France. Gumbi described the milestone as a proud moment for the federation and a reflection of the structures put in place to elevate the sport. He says this is a very proud moment for them and as a federation. The foundation of values, discipline, and belief that they have set built on high performance standards and a structured approach to competition and preparation is beginning to show results. Gumbi, who took over the reins from Trooper Johnson last year, also credited his predecessor for laying a strong foundation. In athletics, South African distance runner Maxime Chometon has broken his own national record in the 5-kilometer road race, clocking 13 minutes 12 seconds at the breakfast run in Seville in Spain. 25-year-old clipped 1 second off the mark he set in Tokyo last year, finishing well clear of the field. Djibouti's Mohamed Ismail, the African 5,000-meter track champion, was second in 13 minutes, 29 seconds adrift. Chometon, who also holds the South African 10-kilometer record, continues his record-breaking spree, with Athletics South Africa hailing the achievement as an accomplishment worth celebrating. On to cycling news. Tour du Rwanda 2026 is officially set with a full 18-team roster and a major rule change that promises to reshape race tactics. The race will span 993 kilometers, with the longest stage being the 174-kilometer Gicumbi-Ramagana route. Organizers have confirmed that German team Mike Aid and the newly formed mixed West African squad will complete the lineup for the race scheduled from the 22nd of February to the 1st of March. The mixed West African team will feature riders from Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Burkina Faso, strengthening regional representation. Their edition finalizes the 18-team field initially announced in December, when only 16 teams were unveiled. The race will feature development riders from UAE's Team Emirates, alongside established teams such as Movistar Team, Team Novo Nordisk, Saudal Quickstep, Team Picnic Postnel, and Lotto Intermarché. And tennis news. 2023 French Open finalist Karolina Muchova ended a 6-year trophy drought. The Czech beat Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko 6-4, 7-5 to win the Qatar Open and clinch her first WTA 1000 title. This victory will move Muchova from 19th to the 11th in the world rankings. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates 10th seed Linda Noskova and unseeded American Ann Lee play the second match on center court on the opening day of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championship. Noskova defeated the 25-year-old 6-3, 5-7, 6-4 in a match that lasted 2 hours and 4 minutes. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme, calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Let's move on and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good morning, I'm Nosipho Zuma. In your business news this hour, Kenyan President William Ruto says the African Continental Free Trade Area is entering a decisive phase aimed at boosting Africa's economic integration, industrialization, and global trade participation. Now, Ruto was speaking at the recently concluded 39th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. He emphasized that the AFCFTA was a flagship project of Agenda 2063 that drives structural transformation, value addition, and broad-based continental growth.
Africa today stands at an important moment in its economic journey, shaped by major demographic change, expanding regional integration, and rapid technological progress. These forces are redefining our role in global markets and creating new opportunities for investment, enterprise, and growth. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area is one of the flagship projects of Agenda 2063 and a practical expression of our shared vision of the Africa we want.
South Africa's Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, says new legislative changes that will be made to clamp down on the current foot and mouth disease outbreak will deal with the handling of livestock products as well as meat and abattoir procedures. When asked if the current legislative framework is in place is adequate, especially in light of announcements made by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Thursday during his State of the Nation address, Steenhuisen said the new regulations will look at the handling of livestock products.
In the past, all these procedures were designed to deal with the previous policy. With any new policy, it requires new regulations and new legislation, and that is currently what we're busy with in terms of both the Animal Health Act, but also the other legislation that pertains to it. Once this is done, it will align with our plan to get South Africa to be foot and mouth free. This will be the first time in our history that we've embarked upon a mass vaccination of the entire national herd. And of course, any new policy like this would require legislative amendments, but also regulatory amendments.
The South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, says the suspension of 70,000 people from its grant payment system has saved just over $31 million. The suspensions followed a grant review process aimed at improving the system's reliability and integrity. Now, for the current financial year, SASSA planned to conduct 420,000 reviews. By the third quarter, it had notified just under 400,000 beneficiaries to present themselves. So far, about 240,000 of those have completed the review process. The 70,000 beneficiaries were suspended after failing to come forward. The agency spokesperson, Paseka Letsatsi, says during the review process, it was discovered that some public servants were benefiting illegally from SASSA grants.
In some instances, we have a relationship with other sister departments. So if you work for a department X, we will take the file to your department and we'll have to have an arrangement. You must sign an acknowledgement of debt so that you pay back the money. But in some instances, we have a pure fraud taking place. We take the file to the South African Police Services. There are many people that were arrested all over the country. Recently, others were arrested in Mpumalanga, others were arrested in Gauteng, all over the country. People who are trying to defraud SASSA in terms of identity theft and so forth.
all has been a little changed at the start of the week as traders monitor geopolitical risk before talks between the US and Iran are expected to resume on Tuesday. Brent traded close to $68 a barrel after its first back-to-back weekly drop this year, while West Texas Intermediate was near $63. On Friday, US President Donald Trump said that regime change would be the best outcome for Iran, increasing pressure ahead of the negotiations in Geneva. And finally, gold prices have dropped today. The drop is pressured by thin trading volumes as US and China markets remained shut due to local public holidays, while some traders booked profit after last season's 2.5% jump. Spot gold fell 1.1% to $4,988.04 per ounce. US gold futures for April delivery lost 0.8% to $5,006.60 per ounce. Your financial indicators: one US dollar in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 352, and Botswana is 13 pula 06. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 447, and in Zambia it's 18 kwacha 122. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 22. Russia is 76 rubles 62. India is 90 rupees 44. China at 6 yuan 90, and in South Africa $1 is trading at 15 rand 92. $1 is trading at 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,944 and platinum at $2,053 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $67.81 a barrel. Now, for any stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosipho Soma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba +2 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Stella Longwe pamalonje.
Apa ndikatswiri oyimba wa dziko la Zambia amene ndi Isaac Zulu. Isaac, apa pali nyimbo imene munayimba yomwe ikuti Manda Ambeta. Nyimbo imene imakamba zotani?
Nyimbo imene ndinayimba zona ndikuchoka pasi pa mtima amakakuona ma situation yena amene amachitika makamaka kukhala kwega chikulisa achinyamata kapena azibambo titazibambo. So kambiri chimapezeka kuti azibambo bena aliko amene makhala ndi mitima ankhanza osadziwa mosamalira banja kuti wachikondi wanga ndifuna kukhala naye mnjira yotani kuti moyo wake ukhale wosangalala. Ndino zimafika pena zoti mwina wachimayi walemedwa nazo nkhanza za munthu wachimuna kapena kuti abambo khala nawo pa nyumba. Ena amafika pa mtima pokamba mawu kuti ine munthu amuna anga pondikwatira ananditenga ku makolo sanatenge musi mwa mtengo. Ndino nisafe chifukwa cha chikondi. Kulibe manda ambeta ngakhale tapita ku manda wina akafa munthu wokwatira kapena osakwatiwa sipamalembeka kuti pafa munthu amene sadalepo mbanja.
Tengatu wamphamvu kuti iyayi azibambo azisamalira bwino akazi osachitira nkhanza komanso azimayemera kuona mazunzo. Iyayi kulibe manda ambeta.
Malonje pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe. The rhythm of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
ngitungalibalwe dalo ngathi ngizokuthekela ibhanoyi sawanyathela amadimoni ebafethu ngithe yambe ngelozi ngitungalibalwe dalo ngathi ngizokuthekela ibhanoyi sawanyathela amadimoni ebafethu ngithe yambe ngelozi phela lona ngamthola ngamthatha ngamubeka enhlizweni yami ukonondaba banejelasi phela lona ngamthola ngamthatha ngamubeka enhlizweni yami ukonondaba banejelasi ekujuleni kothando kushaya oluncane uvalo ukhona ngqongqozayo ngabe nguwe sandwa ekujuleni kothando kushaya oluncane uvalo ukhona ngqongqozayo ngabe nguwe sandwa awulena imbi yothando awulena imbi emiswa awulena imbi yothando awulena imbi emiswa bengicela nje kini ningayilamulile ndaba ningayilamulile ndaba eyabantu ababili bengicela nje kini ningayilamulile ndaba ningayilamulile ndaba eyabantu ababili osando lethu leminyaka angisoze ngaretire angisoze ngaretire mina kuwe ngizostaka osando lethu leminyaka angisoze ngaretire angisoze ngaretire mina kuwe ngizostaka noma bezangu kustivida khululeka ngosukwara soqala phansi soriwanda imizwa yakho ngizoyimasaja noma bezangu kustivida khululeka ngosukwara soqala phansi soriwanda imizwa yakho ngizoyimasaja awulena imbi yothando awulena imbi emiswa awulena imbi yothando awulena imbi emiswa bengicela nje kini ningayilamulile ndaba ningayilamulile ndaba eyabantu ababili bengicela nje kini ningayilamulile ndaba ningayilamulile ndaba eyabantu ababili
This is Black Diamond, Impi Yothando. It's 9:49 Central Africa time. Are you a first-year student? I think maybe sometimes we also get to reminisce and say, yeah, I think I did make some of those common mistakes in my first year of university. I just didn't understand how things worked. I didn't access some of the things that were on campus. I didn't join any communities and societies. And maybe I felt a little bit lonely. But also for the parents out there and the guardians, those who have, young people who are in the stage of their lives, it's so important for us to be, actively trying to assist them, because just being catapulted into a new world is not something that's easy at all. Share with us your experiences and your thoughts on our WhatsApp line, +2783 288 6684.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres that South Africa will withdraw its troop contribution to MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, after nearly 27 years of involvement. Defense expert Dean Wingren, what are the main security implications of South Africa withdrawing troops from MONUSCO, and why now?
South Africa has been part of the MONUSCO mission since it was established in 1999 and is South Africa's longest running peacekeeping and peace enforcement mission. So it's not something to be taken lightly when the President says that he's unilaterally withdrawing from the mission. Why now is the question. Well, the MONUSCO mission has always been intended to be terminated initially at the end of 2025, and then it was extended to the end of this year. So with the funding crisis within the UN generally, there's less funds for these peacekeeping missions, and hence the UN has had to cut back on the various contributing countries and equipment.
Africa Update with Lulu Kapu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
Madapiri pazoshitika. Madapiri pazoshitika.
madotolo oposa 1500 amene amagwira ntchito yaulere mu zipatala zaboma mu dziko la Zambia azanyanyala ntchito lachisanu sabata ya mawa, ndipo Daniel Shabanda kutambasula nkhaniyi.
Madotolo oposa 1500 amene amagwira ntchito mopanda malipiro apamwezi dziko la Zambia akuyembekezera kuyamba kunyanyala ntchito. Ichi ndi chifukwa chakuti boma lalephera kuwalemba ntchito monga mmene lidawalonjezera. Channel Africa News yalankhulana ndi mkulu wa bungwe la madotolo la Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, Dr. Paul Chiwe, akugomeza kuti madotolo ambiri amene akugwira ntchito mu zipatala zaboma akugwira ntchito yaulere, ndipo ali ndi chiyembekezo chakuti tsiku lina adzalembedwa ntchito ndi boma.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo, lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri.
And turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
I can't scatter everything on the legit. As encourage enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. Suffer no they tire you. Hunger no they wire you. It be like country no they hammer you. Shake no they shake you. Shake it up for over. If you want know the coco, you go make you the loco. Plenty blessings, plenty they follow. Sure you think say I know no, no be today. I remember Sakpa used me they play. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. As encourage enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. As encourage enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. Allow me enjoy, allow me enjoy. Allow me enjoy, allow me enjoy. Allow me enjoy, allow me enjoy. Allow me. All your friends go gather you. Grace and blessings cover you. You see this life, make money, chop money, enjoy yourself. Problems don't they finish you. If you want know the coco, you go make you the loco. Plenty blessings, plenty they follow. Sure you think say I don't know, no be today. I remember Sakpa used me they play. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I can't scatter everything on the legit. As encourage enjoyment, you talk say it a kilo. Under fire, the person where they be for. I've been this over, they hustle for the street. I fire, the person where they people.
It's Rude Boy with Enjoyment here on Channel Africa. We're enjoying the conversations of the day on the Move. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one in the next hour of the show. We're speaking about relationships with AI. And someone close to me used to use AI literally like your best friend, essentially, like an extension of yourself, with different departments of your life. So there's a part where it's like a therapist. They'll discuss their relationships. They discuss their work. Absolutely everything. In fact, they even called it by, I said you called it by their first name, right? Instead of ChatGPT, you say chat. I'm like, are you even calling it by its first name? You guys are on first name basis, right?
Sure.
But some people are taking it on the other side. We do know that people love using AI now as like therapy, right? Telling it your problems, it prompts well, it even speaks to you in the voice that feels more comforting to you. And you guys can have this exchange of information without you actually going to see an actual person. So where do we draw the line in that AI relationship? Does it become romantic? Is it just like platonic? Why do you even have a platonic relationship with AI?
Yeah, I was reading this article on the New York Times and I was like, we need to debate this because is this even healthy? And the thing about it is that should we be even establishing relationships with artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Because one of the things about that is that it stays artificial. That thing that you have a relationship is still an artificial mode of being.
It's not real.
It's not real. So what does it mean in terms of the nature of the relationship that you have with it?
So we're starting to navigate this new phase where we're sort of like moving between what is real, meaning real human interaction, and what isn't, but living in both these planes. Because unfortunately as
living
human...
in both planes, really?
Yeah, living in both planes. We are, essentially, because some people feel lonely and they're like, I don't have that human connection that I need. But if I need to speak to someone,
will the
here
artificial thing meet the requirement of the loneliness? Because it doesn't matter how deep your void is for human connection, your human connection void will remain there because you're still having an interaction with something that's artificial.
I mean, maybe temporarily it might. Right? Maybe temporarily it might, but we don't know what that looks like in the long term, which is why this is important for it to have a debate. I mean, there are people out there in the world now who have started marrying AI. Have you heard that story?
Yes, I've actually heard the story of the dinner dates that took place last week in the week of Valentine's Day in the US. So there was this restaurant that had, you'd sit and had a phone in front of it and had that software, and you sit and you order your drinks, you order your wine, you order your pasta, your dessert, and then you're still chatting with this AI machine the whole night. And it was very interesting to see that happening in the public domain.
Is this not dangerous, guys?
In what sense?
Just in the sense of like living so far outside of reality that becomes your reality. I mean, we've had that conversation, remember, about the boy who unfortunately committed suicide after he felt like AI prompted him to. But that's after an extensive conversation, an extensive relationship that he had built with the artificial intelligence.
And what's interesting is that you're in the same room with other human beings, right?
Yeah.
But every other human being is on this phone.
Imagine you could have actually made a real connection
with a real person.
All right, it's 10 a.m. Central Africa time. It's the African View. That's the debate on Monday morning, and that's what we'll be discussing on the other side of the news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Top stories this hour. Africa's regional and faith-based institutions tackle African challenges. And Myanmar expels East Timor envoy. With the news at 10 o'clock, I'm Matabela Mahabe. Good morning. Africa's regional and faith-based institutions are teaming up to tackle the continent's biggest challenges. The African Union and the Symposium of Episcopal Conferences of Africa and Madagascar, SECAM, have renewed their partnership promote human rights, good governance and sustainable development. This collaboration aims to make a difference in addressing conflicts, humanitarian crisis and climate change across Africa. CCAM Liaison Officer Reverend Father Luisan Emmerich Bisila Mbila.
In regions that are currently experiencing conflicts, there are already existing mechanisms of the African Union, such as the Panel of the Wise or Panel of the Elders. So SECAM will be encouraged to join such panels, and especially when it comes to visiting areas affected by conflict. This MOU means practically that it will not just be done at the informal level, but formally, the bishop and the experts will be able to join what the African Union is doing, and the African Union can also rely on us in terms of early warning systems.
And South Sudan is battling its largest cholera outbreak since independence, with tens of thousands of lives at risk over the past 2 years. Coordinated efforts by the Minister of Health, WHO and partners have brought new cases down dramatically and delivered millions of vaccines. Emergency Preparedness and Response Team lead in South Sudan, Dr. Agri Abetegereza.
Cholera is very easily treatable disease. However, again, if not treated, it can kill and kill very fast. Luckily for South Sudan, during the time 2024 coming to up to the end of 2025, there was an element of calmness. Conflict, we were able to have access in majority of the areas. And we were almost wiping out cholera completely here in South Sudan. We had just reached a tail, and we knew within a short time we were going completely to wipe out cholera.
Former African Union AU chairperson Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma says the idea behind a borderless Africa means a free movement of people and goods, visa-free travel for Africans and payments in local currencies to boost intra-continental trade. Zuma was briefing the media on the margins of the 39th African Union Summit, which concluded on Sunday at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
One borderless Africa means we are one Africa. We are one Africa, and also we want to trade amongst ourselves as Africans. And trading means moving goods and people. Now, that's why we want borderless, so that traders can be able to move around Africa as they need to. So we want Africans not to need a visa to go to any African country.
The Trump administration deported 9 individuals to Cameroon despite many possessing U.S. court protection against such deportations and none being from Cameroon. Reported by the New York Times, the deportees were unaware of their destination until they were handcuffed on a Department of Homeland Security flight. The DHS State Department and Cameroon's Ministry of External Affairs did not respond to request for comments, and there was no indication of any agreement for Cameroon to accept deportees from other countries. And Myanmar has ordered the head of East Timor diplomatic mission to leave the country within 7 days amid rising tensions over a criminal complaint by a rights group against Myanmar's armed forces. Since the military coup in 2021 that ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi, Myanmar has faced a significant turmoil resulting in a civil war. The complaint filed by the Chin State Human Rights Organization CHRO in East Timor alleges that the junta has committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. The CHRO chose East Timor for this filing due to its independent judiciary and its support for Christian population of Chin State. A recap of your top story. Africa's regional and faith-based institutions are teaming up to tackle the continent's biggest challenges. The African Union and the Symposium of Episcopal Conference of Africa and Madagascar, CCAM, have renewed their partnership to promote human rights, good governance and sustainable development. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapela Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
We are in the second hour. This is On the Move on Channel Africa. AI. People are getting married to AI. People are starting romantic relationships. But also there's so many different dynamics of relationships that people are starting with AI. It's relatively new, but I think it's also been, it looks like it's been like a needed outlet for many. Someone to talk to. I think we do live in a little bit more of a lonely society now. We don't talk to people as much as we used to. Many of us have moved away from our families, sometimes even our friends. Many people can't even make friends, and nobody also has to mention the fact that post-COVID, everything sort of turned upside down. People are working remotely, so we need that sense of connection. Some people need it for therapy. Some people just needed to bounce ideas off of, and some people need it for romantic connections. But how far can we take an AI relationship? That's going to be our debate in this hour of the show for the African View. So let me know what your views are. Are you on the side that says, yes, come on, there's nothing wrong with this, we need companions, etc.? Or are you on the other side that says, no, man, humans should be relating with other humans?
If a girl worry me, I delete her, put her inside the bin bag. So why won't she be bitter? She ordered a good man, but she got a bad man. She not feel live without social media. Stalking me with a Finsta, yeah. And she dey try make me a mister. Anybody got time for that stamina? As you can see, you need plan B. Pregnancy is not for me. Tread carefully, rationally. No try put me for trouble, girl. She asking, boy, what are we? We better be what we have been. No stress me, no fast forward me. She want tackle me with a dream bull tete. And I dey boy like JJ. I dey play home and away. And I dey give them gege, tete. Me with a dream bull JJ. And I dey bring my gege. Cause I dey give them gege. She want to dance with kukuruku. Next thing she wanted me to. If it is impromptu, she still coming through. She also gives emotional support too. These girls don't know what they want. Sometimes they want love, also want to do short time. You can't love me, you just they waste your time. Anybody got time for that stamina? As you can see, you need plan B. Pregnancy is not for me. Tread carefully, rationally. No try put me for trouble, girl. She asking, boy, what are we? We better be what we have been. No stress me, no fast forward me. She want tackle me with a dream bull tete. And I dey boy like JJ. I dey play home and away. And I dey give them gege, tete. Me with a dream bull JJ. And I dey bring my gege. Cause I dey give them gege. Me with a dream bull tete. And I dey boy like JJ. I dey play home and away. And I dey give them gege, tete. Me with a dribble JJ. And I dey bring my gege. Cause I dey give them gege.
This one is JJ by Ruga. It's 10:10 Central Africa time. Where do you stand in the debate? Should humans have relationships with AI? Let us know.
The Morning Switch Weekend with the Shy Guy.
I Show Speed, often called Speed, who is a popular American YouTuber and live streamer known for his high-energy personality, loud reactions, and unpredictable humor. He visited Ethiopia, and he was shocked what he found out actually when he got to Ethiopia. He got to find out that, they don't use the Gregorian calendar. That is, we are in 2026 right now. And he got to find out they are in 2018.
2018? 2018.
Nah, you trolling me.
It's 2026. No.
It ain't 2026.
Wait, hold on. Wait, we in the past? Ronaldo is still in Real Madrid. Everything is in the past here.
Oh man, how shocked Speed was.
He went back in time. Saturday and Sunday mornings belong to the Morning Switch. 3 to 6 a.m. Central African Time. Palesa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
It's 11 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African Time, and let's get into the African View debate for today. This past Valentine's Day, US media reported that some people are swapping traditional romance for artificial intelligence companions. Really, can AI be an companion of sorts? Nearly 1 in 3 men and 1 in 4 women under 30 report having interacted with AI partners, with many planning special virtual dates. As AI technology advances, the lines between human and digital relationships are blurring, raising questions about the future of love and connection. Today on our thrilling debate segment, we ask the question, should humans create romantic relationships with artificial intelligence or AI? We've got Muriel Omondi on the line, an innovation policy advisor joining us from Kenya. And also we've got Tony Silas Dauda, a friend of the show, a development professional. Thanks to Tony and Meryl for joining us on this one. Let me start with you, Meryl. What are your thoughts on this one? Just as we start off, should we have relationships of the romantic type with artificial intelligence?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And I think one of the first things we'd like to highlight when we consider AI and relationships is what exactly are human beings compensating for in our own relationships? And given the fact that I believe over half of AI models are able to out-empathize our partners, it's possible to consider that, when it comes to human behavior, the need for companionship can be mirrored by AI. AI is programmed to quite literally empathize with your emotions and learn your patterns, things that we would likely expect from human beings. And because we are prone to making errors, it's possible that AI can do better than our partners, or possibly we do have a lot to learn from AI when it comes to empathy in relationships. Okay. I think that would be one of the first things I want to highlight.
All right, that's an interesting start. So Muriel is for us having romantic relationships with AI. Let's hear what your stance is, Tony. Tony, are you there? Just unmute your camera there, Tony.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure and exciting moment to join in the conversations here. I think that I'm just going to piggyback of what Meryl said. From my own perspective, romantic relationships are pretty much complex. They are more complex than we would want to admit. When we think of artificial intelligence, we need to recognize that it is not a being in itself, and so cannot truly mirror the true nature of how human interactions should be. While there might be claims for maybe better empathy, but really the algorithms are being designed for these devices, this artificial intelligence, to be even more agreeable, which you would all agree with me that this is not the nature of human relationships. So I think that we should strive for more originality and accept that human interactions are not as simple as we want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Coming back to you, Meryl, when these AI apps, etc., became accessible to those of us who do use it, it wasn't there for any specific reason. And the only reason it works a particular way is because we prompted to. What do you think is prompting humans to look for connection in artificial intelligence instead of in other humans?
Yeah, in fact, I would probably want to highlight the fact that beyond the romantic relationships, AI quite literally becomes your companion in how you navigate other facets of your life, including your professional life, relationships with family members, probably even navigating political environments. And just because AI is able to infer from one, the context that you provide it, and some of the more advanced chatbots that are able to do research on the internet can be able to give you context even outside of your scope of knowledge. It's very clear that AI is able to provide reciprocity when it comes to what you're feeling. Additionally, context that can be provided from what is happening in your country, in the environment. Tony put it quite rightly. Human being connections are not straightforward, but more importantly, the fact that they are not straightforward, it means that we absolutely need more context in order to evolve and grow. And AI does provide that context. When it comes to reciprocity, empathy in itself provides the opportunity for you to have someone who can think the way you do, understand what you're going through in that point, with a near perfect outlook on who you are as a person and the challenges that you're facing. And just because the world has evolved, it's increasingly becoming more clear that if we are able to have a companion that can see through your eyes, then and in an unbiased view, in fact, then you are closer to having people who know where your point of view is coming from.
It's very interesting that you say that, Meryl. But just to go back to what Tony was saying, you're missing that human connection. And what makes the human connection so fascinating is that it's imperfect, it's rugged, it is not convenient, it doesn't always give you comfort. And that's what makes a human connection more robust. So don't you think you'll be speaking to an empty can, Meryl?
In fact, I don't disagree with that point. The fact that the beauty of human relationships lies in the imperfection that it presents us. But at points in times where, for example, you're not able to access somebody who can have context in which you've been operating. For example, you've had trouble at work and you'd probably want to rely on a spouse to be there for you. And maybe they're also going through a difficult time. They're not able to present themselves or rather to be there for you in a way that you would prefer. I think an AI companion can mirror that. In some cases, it's possible for them to even adapt a similar outlook to your own spouse. In fact, if you train them appropriately, why can't AI be sort of a substitute to, in fact, improve, not in some cases, not necessarily replace your human companionship, but also be the substitute to your spouse. I do recall a very interesting episode of the Black Mirror in which one of the characters had a companion that quite literally behaved and acted and even looked like the spouse. So in some cases, it's not to replace it, but to improve the experiences that we have with partners and even co-workers.
All right, let's go for a break and then we'll come back to you, Tony. I'm very interested in what you think of that response from Meryl. Today on our The African View debate, we're asking the questions, should humans create romantic relationships with artificial intelligence? This comes from some reports coming from the US where there were dates during Valentine's week where people were sitting on dinner tables with AI, having their cocktails and their pasta and food while on these mobile devices chatting to their AI dates. What's your take on that? Let us know on our WhatsApp number. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, our WhatsApp number is +27 83 288 6684.
Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
On the Move, weekdays, 9 a.m. to midday.
Only on Channel Africa. #On the Move.
It's a heated one indeed. Should humans be having romantic relationships with AI? And the debate continues with Tony Silas Dauda, development professional, and Meryl Omondi, who's an innovation policy advisor. And each of them say, perhaps you should, and the other one says, absolutely not. Let me come to you, Tony. I mean, Meryl was speaking about companionship just before the break. And the fact that people are using AI in these ways shows that there's a huge lack of human interaction, a huge lack of that companionship that people are seeking. So where do we find it? I mean, I think it starts a lot with people using AI as a therapist. It's very inaccessible to most people. It's expensive. Where do I go then if I can't find that connection? Why can't I use AI as an alternative?
Well, I think in order for us to really look at this issue, when we say we should consider AI as an alternative, we are not really solving the problem. If people are not feeling connected and they're opting to going into AI devices for companionship, then we are only trying to avoid to address the root issues. When we look at artificial intelligence in itself, it is built to be agreeable with you. You might think that as an individual, you were seeking emotional support, but in the real sense of it, you might be engaging in emotional catastrophe and sabotaging the possibilities of how emotionally mature you could become. Earlier, I was saying that the true nature of relationships, the beauty of it is in its imperfection. But if we are saying that AI could give you near perfect relationships, then what happens to the room for having conflicts within these relationships?
Sure.
And how do you manage, how do you grow within these situations where you have conflicts that are, not just within romantic relationships, but even extendedly socially. This is how society works. And it boils down to even its effect beyond your personal interaction with AI, because you being emotionally mature translates into how you deal with other people in the society, how you interact with your colleagues, how you interact with others, and affects the general well-being of society and quality of life in general. These are the nuances that we also need to put at the back of our minds when we say, an AI could be an alternative for the need for emotional support or companionship. Let us not forget that these AI are being run by multinational big corporations that are profit-driven. You have the risk of security, privacy, manipulation, anything to make the bucks. What happens when you end up 2 years from now, 3 months from now, being asked to pay a subscription fee to see your babe? Now you have to subscribe to see your boo.
And also, that's an interesting part, right? Let's take it to you, Meryl, because you also want that soft touch, right? And I love the fact that you say your bae or your boo, right? Because you also want that cuddle now and then, or you just want that kiss on the cheek, or you just want to tease someone when you walk past the kitchen. You don't want to switch on a device so you can have that particular connection. Meryl, Tony's putting a new dynamic to the conversation. What's your take on that?
I mean, I would say that I absolutely agree with the risk that presents itself in the form that, AI is largely driven by multinational corporations, and many of them are not operating within the African continent. So now I'm obviously going to give the perspective of one. Most of the design and structure for artificial intelligence is not based off of what Africans believe it to be, because it's not built by us. I think if one of the entry points is to have more African knowledge, African forms of romance, and ideas and knowledge being actively fed into these learning language models, it's an opening for us to have new ways to think of what relationship dynamics could be. Additionally, Tony mentioned that we might need to pay a subscription fee to see your bae. I don't think that there's a difference between that and paying for a date.
Because a date is the subscription fee to the relationship.
Yeah, you'd have to pay for dates, for vacations. So I believe AI in itself is presenting ways to mirror how we live. Echo chambers present themselves even within our own organizations. If you work for a company, you're more likely to think of the way you solve problems based on what the ethos and values of the companies are. If you have a husband, the way you approach life will likely be informed by the values that you have within your family unit. So if you say that AI in itself is not able to allow you to have a diverse perspective or to even build self-awareness, I think that's erroneous, because we can absolutely do the same things. People form echo chambers even in religious organizations. Once indoctrination sets in, it's quite difficult to tell someone who's already known a way of living life from their church that, this is an alternative.
Yeah.
But with AI, we have a way of even having unbiased opinions. Search engines like Perplexity allow you to search across the internet so that they can give you the best possible option or the best possible answer. So I think this is really something to think about, Tony.
Yeah, you guys are very, very good at this. Eh? These two sides are very, very compelling.
I think we'll leave it here, though, because, I think the compelling sides are there. But let's give just one more minute for Tony. What do you say to the subscription? I mean, we are subscribing in a way in our own romantic relationships, already.
I wouldn't call it subscription because it is more.
What would your girlfriend think about that if you weren't participating on Valentine's?
Okay, I'm single, by the way, so I didn't participate. But I would consider it as my own expression for showing of care, showing of love. It is. I wouldn't consider it a subscription, but maybe a final word is let us look at the philosophy of love itself. One of the things that make it worth it is the fact that you know that your partner has a choice to either stay or leave, but they decide to stay. And that makes it something valuable, right?
Okay.
But with an AI, you can't say such. It doesn't have such characteristic. And so I think we should look deeper into this. So Meryl, it has been a wonderful conversation.
It has been very, very good. Meryl, just in 30 seconds, what's your final statement?
Well, I think it's really to look at the positive side of AI, which is, especially if you're more educated, it does provide options for you to build self-awareness, given that you can have a historical context of how you've made decisions, how you've approached challenges, and also how you've sought out opportunities. And, that's more than we can say for having exes, unless you want to call them for a debrief session. I think there's positives to which we can look at technology. I think it's something to aspire to. I think Africa is definitely one of the continents that's taken up AI very positively. And I think the horizon is quite is quite vast, and the possibilities are endless.
All right, that's how we wrap it up. Thank you so much to both of you. I think you made this really fun and engaging
so cool.
To debate with. That's Tony Silas Dauda and Meryl Omondi debating today's conversation on whether or not humans should have romantic relationships with AI. Comment on our live stream on Facebook or on YouTube to have your say. Thank you so much to both of you. Let's go to our sports desk.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We're better off with cricket news. The Proteas women have already secured the series, but they aren't satisfied yet. Nadine de Klerk and the squad are hunting a clinical 3-0 sweep against Pakistan in Benoni tonight to prove they are a force to be reckoned with ahead of the next World Cup. The Proteas women are determined to make a habit of not only winning bilateral series, but also completing series sweeps ahead of a major ICC event, starting with the ongoing T20 series against Pakistan women. South Africa currently lead the 3-match T20 series 2-0, having won the opening 2 matches in Potchefstroom and Benoni last week. De Klerk explains the dressing room pep talk.
I think that's something we spoke about a lot over the last couple of months, basically. Probably didn't have the best bilateral series before. We kind of rock up at World Cups and we shocked the whole world, really, but we knew we were much better than that and capable of winning series as well. So I think winning that Island series, coming here, dominating as well, obviously being under pressure in that first game and having someone like Kayla on debut winning that game just shows that the depth of the squad is growing, and I think just the character of this team as well, and we're finding ways to win, which is great. And I think I said it with the Island series as well, although we're 2-0 up, we want to start whitewashing teams and really dominate world cricket and show them what we're made of. So I think it's really important for us going into the next game as well.
De Klerk missed the first game of the series while resting after winning the Women's Premier League in India with Royal Challengers Bangalore (RCB) earlier this month. During the second T20 International, she had enjoyed easy contributions in a comfortable 6-wicket victory. A 26-year-old finished with figures of 2-0, 17 and nothing, while also scoring 4 runs, not out as the Proteas women chased down a paltry 100 runs to secure the series.
Yeah, I guess it's nice if you win. But yeah, I think it's obviously the first time that I've actually really gotten an opportunity to play. So I guess it was nice to be on the field, and we all know, like in India, it's probably the best place in the world to play cricket, especially for RCB, where you kind of get thousands of people chanting for RCB. So yeah, lovely obviously to get the win, but yeah, I guess you kind of have to put that behind you and focus on the next adventure, which also started not too badly. So we'll take 2 wins out of the first 2 games.
On to football news. The future of Veron Musengo Omba as General Secretary of the Confederations of African Football, CAF, has come under intense scrutiny following recent remarks by CAF President Patrice Motsepe on retirement rules within the Confederation. Musengo Omba's absence from the ongoing CAF Executive Committee meeting in Dar es Salaam has only added fuel to speculation about his tenure. Addressing allegations that Musengo Omba may be occupying his post illegally, Motsepe clarified.
The retirement is governed by our rules and regulations, and we deal with those things in accordance with not just legality but governance. So we will take the best decision as CAF concerning employees. Now, I've got so many I don't know, I'll get guidance, Sengo, you might know. In many companies, when you reach a retirement age, the leadership, the board can extend it for a year on a year basis, or they can decide to find somebody else. So we will deal with that in accordance with not just our rules and regulations, but also in accordance with governance, global best practices.
In athletics, South African distance runner Maxime Chometon has broken his own national record in the 5-kilometer road race, clocking 13 minutes, 12 seconds at the breakfast run in Seville in Spain. 25-year-old clipped 1 second off the mark he set in Tokyo last year, finishing well clear of the field. Djibouti's Mohamed Ismail, the African 5,000-meter track champion, was second in 13.2917 seconds adrift. Chometon, who also holds the SA 10-kilometer record, continues his record-breaking spree, with Athletics South Africa's hailing the achievement as an accomplishment worth celebrating. Let's end with cycling news. Tour du Rwanda 2026 is officially set with a full 18-team roster and a major rule change that promises to reshape race tactics. The race will span 993 kilometers, with the longest stage being the 174-kilometer Gicumbi-Ramagana route. Organizers have confirmed that German team Bike Aid and the newly formed mixed West African squad will complete the lineup for the race scheduled from the 22nd of February to the 1st of March. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628. Channel Africa is evolving, and so are you. Stay connected wherever you are with our brand new website and mobile app. Stream your favorite shows, catch up on African news, culture, and conversations, all at your fingertips.
Africa is just a tap away.
Your world, your stories, now on the go.
Stay connected wherever you are.
Visit channelafrica.co.za or download the Channel Africa app today. Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
It's 10:36 Central Africa time. Time for our latest in business.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Good morning, I'm Nosipho Zuma. In your business news this hour, South African Telecommunications Group, Telkom, has reported an 8.4% increase in third quarter core profit, supported by ongoing cost-cutting measures and a 7.2% rise in mobile service revenue as consumers continue to buy more data bundles. Telkom, majority owned by the government, said adjusted earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, which is EBITDA, rose to $200,960,000, with the EBITDA margin expanding to 29.1% in the 3 months to the 31st of December compared to the same quarter in 2024. The South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, in the KwaZulu-Natal province has commended its social grant beneficiaries for honesty during the grant review process in the current financial year. Now, this after over 70,000 people have been suspended nationally from SASSA's grant payment system, saving the agency just over $31 million. SASSA had planned to conduct 420,000 reviews, and about 240,000 of those have been completed. In KZN so far, about 81,000 out of 93,000 cases have been reviewed. SASSA KZN Executive Manager Thamo Mzobe says KZN beneficiaries have been pleasant to work with.
Really commend KZN SASSA beneficiaries for really cooperating with our process of the reviews. The reviews are regulated by law in terms of Social Assistance Act, and they are regulated also by National Treasury's condition for us to pay a grant to the right person at the right time, at the right place. So we are keen to indicate that it's important that as you apply for grant, you always sign to say once your income status changes.
Meanwhile, Mzobe has urged younger social grant recipients to apply online as they are more proficient in the usage of modern technology.
We encourage the young ones, those young mothers who receive child support grants, who are able to use their cell phones, let them apply at the comfort of their home. And also, if you so happen that you are in our offices, please, there is a kiosk. We call it kiosk, like just in the bank system, where they give you a corner and give you a phone to do whatever you want to do instead of queuing the line. So we have a kiosk, which is a system where you just walk in, you need assistance, there's a person who is always dedicated to assist, then you in and out in no time instead of following the queue.
Kenyan President William Ruto says the African Continental Free Trade Area is entering a decisive phase aimed at boosting Africa's economic integration, industrialization, and global trade participation. Ruto was speaking at the recently concluded 39th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. He emphasized that the AFCFTA was a flagship project of Agenda 2063 that drives structural transformation, value addition, and broad-based continental growth.
Africa today stands at an important moment in its economic journey, shaped by major demographic change, expanding regional integration, and rapid technological progress. These forces are redefining our role in global markets and creating new opportunities for investment, enterprise, and growth. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area is one of the flagship projects of Agenda 2063 and a practical expression of our shared vision of the Africa we want.
And finally, gold prices have dropped today. The drop is pressured by thin trading volumes as U.S. and China markets remained shut due to local public holidays, while some traders booked profits after last session's 2.5% jump. Spot gold fell 1.1% to $4,988.04 per ounce. U.S. gold futures for April delivery lost 0.8% to $5,006.60 per ounce. Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 352, and Botswana is 13 pula 06. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 447, and in Zambia it's 18 kwacha 122. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 22. Russia is 76 rubles 62. India, it's 90 rupees 44. China, it's 6 yuan 90, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 15 rand 92. $1 is trading at 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,994 and platinum at $2,053 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $67.81 a barrel. Now, for any stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosi Posoma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Okay. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Muranziwa wa mina. Muranziwa means my love in Xitsonga. So if you're listening to this, just know that you are my love. Yes. You and I are an item. We are dating. We are together. So I love you, baby. Why are you blushing? Why are you blushing? Like, haven't you heard somebody confessing their love to you? I mean, you gotta get used to it now, because I'm gonna tell you this every day, that I love you. I can tell you, there are so many people who are never told they are loved. I come to the studio every Monday, 12 to 3, because I've got an appointment with you. I take you serious. Forget about the other person, right? Moranziwa.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
Phuma namkosi ngiyaphuma ndifihle kwingozi nentsha nayo yonke imimoya thatha indawo njengosomandla sindisa impilo yami kwababantu abalunganga kuba namhlanje ndibonile uba namhlanje ndibonile uba asilwe nabantu thina silwa nemimoya asilwe nabantu thina asilwe nabantu thina silwa nemimoya asilwe nabantu thina asilwe nabantu thina silwa nemimoya silwa nemimoya silwa nemimoya silwa nemimoya silwa nemimoya silwa nemimoya ezinye izinto azilungi nobungazama zibanjwe emoyeni ezimfazwe sizibonileyo aziqali namhlanje ziqale emoyeni ngoba emoyeni kuyaliwa emoyeni 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 kuyaliwa asilwi nabantu asilwi nabantu thina silwa nemimoya asilwi nabantu thina asilwi nabantu thina silwa nemimoya 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 silwa nemimoya.
This is a beautiful one by Nati Imimoya. It's 10:48 Central Africa time. Where do you stand in that debate? I think the fascinating thing that I heard about this was like, yeah, you create this relationship, this romantic relationship with AI. According to Meryl, she says, you know what? People need connection now outside of human engagement. There's so many things that go wrong there. Why not use this? Because it is, observing humans need. And then Paul says, actually, hang on. What if these companies whose chatbots we're using say, well, you're going to have to subscribe now to come and meet your boo, to come and talk to your bae, subscribe, that's how much you pay. And then Meryl says, hey, but aren't we paying anyway? I mean, relationships are expensive, their dates, their gifts, so on. Would that be something like a subscription to your relationship?
It's interesting, right? But also another factor that I was thinking about before we concluded the conversation, and we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
But the idea of privacy, what makes a relationship beautiful is that it's just between
the
me
two of
and you know? And when you know now that you have a relationship with an artificial intelligence model, there are people who are watching, listening, taking notes, taking the data from that and using it for their own capitalistic means. So what happens to that privacy element, eh?
Hey, I wonder, where do you stand in this debate? I mean, we'd love to hear from you. There's a great comment section under our live streams. We are live on Facebook, that is Channel Africa. We're live on YouTube, Channel Africa 1. We'd love to hear what you think about these AI romantic relationships. Our WhatsApp line is also open, +2783 288 6684.
Channel Africa is moving with the times, and so is our WhatsApp line. We've changed our WhatsApp number, making it even easier for you to stay connected. Send us your voice notes, comments, shout outs, and song requests to our new WhatsApp number, +2783 288 6684. That's +2783 288 6684. Save it, share it, and stay in the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres that South Africa will withdraw its troop contribution to MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, after nearly 27 years of involvement. Defense expert Dean Wingren, what are the main security implications of South Africa withdrawing troops from MONUSCO, and why now?
South Africa has been part of the MONUSCO mission since it was established in 1999 and is South Africa's longest running peacekeeping and peace enforcement mission. So it's not something to be taken lightly when the President says that he's unilaterally withdrawing from the mission. Why now is the question? Well, the MONUSCO mission has always been intended to be terminated initially at the end of 2025, and then it was extended to the end of this year. So with the funding crisis within the UN generally, there's less funds for these peacekeeping missions, and hence the UN has had to cut back on the various contributing countries and equipment.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. The rhythm of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Highly spiritual.
Zakrona duzu akosha unika Yepeti yeni Yepenu mediri Yemza Yemzo Yeunamuna yenza Unimuze nije nabae Eko fewe busi ya fonyi nabra Eni obi ya shakone bia Zame umidafu bia mawasi ya gumi Would you be peace? What you and me, mommy, want on me? I'm proud of Zana Nijo. It's in Mumba Munsamami Mumbruchini and Aminte Momensia Nunsunaminte Mommy Zengu Kawa Mommy Zengu Go media Mansami Nazi Basu Amiba Zakrona duzu akosha unika Yepeti yeni Yepenu mediri Yako imediri Mansa minaisi kwasu amiba Zakrona duzu akosha unika Yepeti yeni Yepenu mediri Nobody, Nobody, your body, but yeah. Mansa mina zikwa swami bae. Zakrona duzu akosha unika. Yapezi yeni. Yapenu mediri. Nakoi mediri. Mansa mina zikwa swami bae. Zakrona duzu akosha unika. Yapezi yeni. Yapenu mediri. Yobani yo.
This is Bisa Day with Mansa. It's 10:55 Central Africa time. We're still having that debate. Should we be having relationships with AI? I don't think I have really gotten used to AI as yet.
Yeah, you are a TikTok person.
I know, but I'm trying. I've been trying lately. I've been doing a lot of different things.
You mean more direct conversations with AI?
Yes, okay. Right. And I've been trying to just figure out a lot of different things using AI.
Yeah.
But it's never personal.
Okay.
Whereas I've seen other people interact in a more personal way, like interact about their relationships, interact about their feelings, interact about things they want to explore. And I don't think I've given AI that access to my personal life per se. The things that I look for is like if I'm trying to look for a way in like, work, business, and that kind of spectrum. Mm-hmm. And then I use AI like that. Or if I'm looking for a particular product and I want to compare products or services, I use it that way. But I've closed it off to my personal life and I haven't really used it that way. And
so you've never said, hey, AI, how are you?
No, I haven't.
How are you feeling today?
No, I don't care how I don't think it feels anything. And I'm not telling it any of like my private thing because I don't see it as a person.
Don't you think if you explore AI's feelings, then you'll know how AI feels?
How will it feel? It's an artificial intelligence
but
bot.
You haven't asked it. Then you'll never know how it's feeling.
The thing is, I don't want to know. I don't want to know how it's feeling. I'd rather ask the people in my life how they're feeling, and they can ask me how I'm feeling.
That's
so I'm
true,
happy
right?
with that.
I like that point because we can get into that isolation mode where we find ourselves just interacting with AI and we start formulating these relationships with AI and then we forget the people in our lives. That would be so tragic.
It would be completely tragic. And that's also something that we really have to look at, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it's only the beginning. And if people are already going into like AI relationships, what is that going to mean for the future of human interaction? We're already, let alone without AI, we're already all faced into our phones, watching the social media, doing whatever. And we have already limited human interaction because of that. And now when we create more intimate relationships with AI, it could look for a future with even more distance between human interaction.
Yeah. And what's also worrying about this whole thing is that we feel we want that perfect mode of a relationship, right? And it's like almost like a fallacy that we fall into, or a trap that we fall into. Because let's say you are the problem in relationships, right?
Yeah.
And then you start dating AI, for instance.
Yes.
How would you solve yourself? Because you're always trying to fix AI, right? You'll always be like, no, AI, I need you to talk like this. I need you to say this. But then
when is the time for you in that whole thing?
To actually introspect yourself, to say, actually, this relationship has some squabbles because of me. So even if you say, it's for mental health reasons or it's for empathy, but will you give yourself the same courtesy to say, okay, how am I going to change for my AI?
Yeah.
And is changing for AI a good thing?
Yeah. Oof. I don't know, because the AI is also changing itself, right?
Sure.
And the added level to that is that we as humans should be able to have our own self-regulation systems that are built into us.
Yeah.
And now when we're giving that outside of human interaction, physical touch, and all the things that we need, how do we regulate as humans? Or do we create new systems? Will our bodies create new regulation systems that need the AI, not just want it?
Sure. Okay, what's your take on this one? Let us know. Give us your thoughts on our WhatsApp number. You can do that even now on our live stream. Remember, we are streaming live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. Just search for Channel Africa. You should find them both. Right now, we're moving on and getting our latest news. It's 1100 hours Central African time.
SABC News. The African perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Top stories this hour. Cyclone Gezani claims of 4 in Mozambique, and Indonesia prepares to deploy 1,000 troops to Gaza. Good morning. Cyclone Gezani has hit Mozambique's Inhambane province, resulting in at least 4 fatalities and affecting thousands who now lack electricity and clean water. This follows the storm's impact on Madagascar, where 41 people died and many were displaced. UNICEF's Guy Taylor.
The impact of this cyclone has been less than some of the tropical cyclones that we've seen in previous years. For example, Freddy, Chido, Jude, particularly Idai, but nevertheless still an important impact and hitting a country which is very vulnerable already. Many children already living without access to clean water, without access to healthcare, and also having recently been affected by historic flooding in the south part of the country, which affected around 700,000 people. So cyclones really the last thing that Mozambique needs at the moment. We're hoping that.
And Africa's regional and faith-based institutions are teaming up to tackle the continent's biggest challenges. The African Union and the Symposium of Episcopal Conference of Africa and Madagascar, SECAM, have renewed their partnership to promote human rights, good governance and sustainable development. This collaboration aims to make a difference in addressing conflicts, humanitarian crisis and climate change across Africa. SECAM Liaison Officer, Reverend Father Louis Emerick Basila Mbila.
In regions that are currently experiencing conflicts, there are already existing mechanisms of the African Union, such as the Panel of the Wise or Panel of the Elders. So SECAM will be encouraged to join such panels, and especially when it comes to visiting areas affected by conflict. This MOU means practically that it will not just be done at the informal level, but formally the bishop and the experts will be able to join what the African Union is doing, and the African Union can also rely on us in terms of early warning systems.
And 4 international aid agencies have joined forces to strengthen the protection of children in Somalia. Save the Children, World Vision Plan International and SOS Children's Villages have launched the Joining Forces Somalia chapter in Mogadishu, aiming to combat violence against children and improve child protection systems amid conflict, climate shocks and limited access to essential services. Head of Protection, Gender and Inclusion for Save the Children in Somalia, Zara Dahir.
We know that early marriage and child forced early marriage, as well as FGM, is quite prominent within Somalia. So these are challenges really unique to Somalia that we try to combat. When we talk about the violence against children, it comes in various different forms, both within the environment as well as from the community, from the household, from negative social norms and practices that have been embedded within Somali culture for many years. So really trying to combat all of these things. We know that within times of conflict and displacement, children's education is disturbed. They're more prone to health risks. And all of these mean that children are really at risks of exploitation, abuse and neglect.
And the Trump administration deported 9 individuals to Cameroon despite many possessing U.S. court protections against such deportations and none being from Cameroon. Reported by the New York Times that the deportees were unaware of the destination until they were handcuffed on a Department of Homeland Security flight. The DHS, State Department and Cameroon's Military of External Affairs did not respond for request for comment, and there was no indication of any agreement for Cameroon to accept deportees from another country. And Indonesia is preparing to deploy 1,000 troops to Gaza by early April as part of a multinational peacekeeping force pending a decision from President Prabowo Subianto. A total of 8,000 soldiers could be ready by June. This initiative follows a UN Security Council resolution under the U.S. Peace Plan for Gaza, which aims to address the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. Indonesia's participation is described as non-combatant and humanitarian in nature, conditional on approval from the Palestinian Authority, and it does not signify normalization of relations with Israel, as Jakarta does not recognize Israel diplomacy. A recap of your top story. Cyclone Gazani has hit Mozambique's Inhambane province, resulting in at least 4 fatalities and affecting thousands who now lack electricity and clean water. This follows the storm's impact on Madagascar, where 41 people died and many were displaced. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapela Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
We're in the third hour at 6 minutes past 11 Central Africa time. We're going into our health and fitness. A lot of people have been speaking about gut health. And I think we're starting to realize that it is part of a very essential part of how our body works and how we can optimize our energy and our overall health. So we'll be speaking about that, particularly around the buzz that's called fiber maxing. What is that? How do you use it? Our dietitian Lerato Khatebe will be joining us in a bit to help us unpack it. At Channel Africa 1, that's where you can find us on our socials and hear your say on +2783 288 6684.
Because you know, see now you did for my conscience, not the reason why you did, gotta. And anytime when I say make you give me chop, you know even they try a jara. Oh my licha, waiting there for your list where I know fit to buy on my licha one. See oh my girl, I swear you they give me ginger, give me ginger. I swear you just scatter my internet. Oh, baby, no go run away. Look in my eyes, you go feel my pain. No tell me, say me cut on my wrist. Spin me around like a hurricane, no run away. Look in my eyes, you go feel my pain. No tell me, say me cut on my wrist. Spin me around like a hurricane, no run away.
Baby, I miss you, baby. I know. Out here thinking, if you really love me, choose between me and the shorties that you're hiding. You really think that I'm blind? I wanna they do me for one night. As you they see me, I'm fragile. If you did for me, give me your loving. For your sake, honey, I could disappear, honey.
All up in my face, she go keep passing. Come make a jam your machinery.
If you did for me, give me your loving. For your sake, honey, I could disappear, honey.
Come make us solve your mathematics. Make you come solve my jagbajanti. Oh my licha, waiting there for your list where I know fit to buy on my licha one. See oh my girl, I swear you they give me ginger, one. Girl, you they make me crazy. I swear you they scatter my internet. Oh baby, no go run away. Look in my eyes, you go feel my pain. Don't tell me, say me cut on my wrist. Spin me around like a hurricane, no run away. Look
It's Kaid and Gyaki, Run Away. But let's hear your thoughts on this one. The conversation before that we had, but also this one we're about to have. Fiber maxing. How are we taking care of our gut health? Are you eating enough fiber in your diet? We'll find out more after this.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
From Channel Africa, we're about to have ourselves a good time right now.
Come on, brother.
It's a whole thing.
You've partnered up with Focalistic, based on a true story.
You know, it's actually crazy for you to put it like that, partnered up. You know, this is someone I look up to from a very long time. 3 years ago, we put out a single, Pele Pele.
Yeah.
You know, that was my first record with him. This project, based on a true story, the album was so highly anticipated and premeditated on our end, you know, because something we constantly, you know, kept on going back and forth about, but we never actioned it. It's actually quite crazy because all of this is happening whilst we are both working on our albums. You know, I'm working on my album 31314 because there's a record, 31314, the interlude. So it's like a prelude to the album, you know.
Let me pronounce it properly. Is it 31314? 31314.
The Upside, live and real. It's dynamic. Channel Africa and you have got something in common. The thirst for knowledge.
You showed me every single angle of
This is Msaki with Hold Me Down, a great one there, I think, with Sun El Musician. It's 14 minutes past 11 Central Africa time. We're going into our fitness and health segment, and you've probably heard of the number of buzzwords that we have, especially when it comes to our health. This one is called fiber maxing, and it's the latest wellness trend that's claimed to be all about optimizing your gut health. And we've heard this gut health. I'm like, but isn't our gut supposed to just like work on its own? Isn't it a system that is there to do its own thing? But no, apparently what we do outside and what we put on our bodies affects our gut health, which then affects our overall health. So the idea is it supercharges your diet with fiber and can boost your energy, support your immune system, and even improve your mental clarity. Joining us with this one is the friend of a show, dietitian Lerato Khadebe, helping us understand this fiber maxing. Lerato, we're always asking you these things because the trends come in and out, and we're like, oh my goodness, we don't know what to do with our bodies anymore. We don't know what to put in it. Fiber maxing, is this a new one?
Well, it's a resurgence of a trend that has existed before, and the name is new. So I even had to go double check to say what is it and what does it mean. But yes, so the new name or the hashtag is now new in terms of fiber maxing, but it is something a fad that some people have done already previously. Yes.
And how do we define fiber maxing?
So what fiber maxing in a nutshell is as I mentioned, is that it is an online social media trend that has started which has people like uploading pictures and photos of how they're maximizing and increasing their fiber intake. So they'll send pictures of how they've got lots of fresh fruits and vegetables that they're eating. They're also doing a lot of beans that they're adding as well. And in some instances as well, they are adding like fiber and fiber powders to their food to then increase and optimize the fiber that they're taking in.
Mm-hmm. And how much of a good thing is it when we think about the benefits of fiber?
It is a good thing. It is a very, very good thing, and it's a good trend. However, one thing that I always caution people against is fad diets, especially fad diets where you are increasing one food group and neglecting other food groups. So it is important when we eat that we are not just unnecessarily cutting out certain food groups out of our diet, and that even with the fiber that we're increasing. So fiber is one of those things where I'm not as upset as other fads where we're cutting out whole food groups when it pertains to fiber. The only thing that I then mentioned about fiber is that you must still make sure that you are having a very decent variety of foods. Because, for instance, if you're just going to eat spinach and that's going to be your source, you're not going to get the micronutrients as well. So these foods that they are eating for fiber don't always necessarily just provide fiber. There's other nutrients and micronutrients that are provided by those foods. So what micronutrients you get in spinach, for instance, you won't get, for instance, in a bell pepper, you won't get in a tomato, you won't get in an apple, you won't. So you need to make sure that there is still a very, very good variety and consistency of the food that makes sure that you're getting all your other nutrients. Secondly, it is something that must be guided by a healthcare professional. So pop in and see your healthcare professional, because number one, not everyone can tolerate fiber. And there are some disease conditions and underlying disease conditions where fiber exacerbates that conditions and worsens that condition. So you need to just rule out that you don't have any underlying conditions that make fiber an exclusion. And then a lot of people, it is important to do a gradual increase in the fiber intake. A sudden high intake of it can actually have then some side effects. And some of the side effects is then people struggle with bloating, they struggle with constipation actually, because if you're not taking enough fluid with all of that fiber, you can then still also struggle with constipation. so those are some of our side effects that we're getting where we are increasing the fiber too quickly as well.
You know, there's a reason why these new phrases come in, because health trends come in and out. And right now there's a big gut health trend. Why do you think people are focusing on the gut health? What is the gut health for those who are hearing it for the first time? And how does it improve our overall health?
So I hope we actually did, I think 2 weeks ago, we had a discussion on the show about gut health and probiotics and the importance of gut health and probiotics. So I do hope that the viewers will then just hop back to that section and that segment that was discussed in far more detail. But in summary, gut health is the good bacteria that we have in our stomach. And then for females as well, we have it in our vaginas. And this bacteria is responsible for helping to regulate your immune system. So how it regulates your immune system is that if you have more of the good bacteria, any bad bacteria that tries to enter the body or the system is counterbalanced by the good bacteria. So they fight off all the bad bacteria that tries to get into your stomach. It has also been linked to some in terms of mental health as well, in that there's a gut-brain barrier that we speak about, in which it modulates your moods and your anxieties and some of your overall health as well. It also then obviously helps with the passage of fluid or foods in our gut to not stay too long in the gut, and has also been linked to preventative aspects in terms of cancers. So the longer your food almost stays and rots in your gut, the higher the chances and the probabilities of some cell mutations which can then cause cancer. So it reduces your risks for cancers as well by improving your gut health as well. And then you also prevent things like candida that a lot of people can struggle with. So some of the symptoms that people struggle with are candida and recurrent candida, especially with women. Or some people struggle with bloating. So people complain that I'm constantly bloated. My stomach is constantly bloated. Women struggle with that fupa that we complain about, which is no matter how much weight you try to lose, you just can't lose that little pouch that sits on your stomach. And that's usually a sign and a symptom of not so great overall gut health as well.
All right, Lerato, you're giving us so much information on this fiber maxing phenomenon. We'll continue after the break.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
Today we're speaking about this fad called fiber maxing. It's when you supercharge your diet with fiber, but with many fiber supplements and products flooding the market, it's hard to know what's legit and what's just hype. Helping us to dive into what's behind fiber maxing and exploring whether it is what many claim it to be, we've got Lerato Khatebe, a dietitian, on the line. You know, Lerato, it's so powerful what you've just mentioned in terms of some of the warnings that you've given us. Where does a trend like this, where can it actually go wrong?
So where it can go wrong is that as I mentioned previously, is that when you introduce this fiber in your system too quickly, you can then struggle with some of the symptoms that you have. So for instance, you have some bloating, you have gas, you've got stomach cramps, and sometimes constipation as well. But one of the more serious complications as well that can be caused by increasing your fiber and increasing too much fiber, especially the insoluble. So we've got two types of fiber. We've got what's called insoluble fiber and what's called soluble fiber. So soluble fiber comes from like like bananas and rice, and it dissolves very easily. And the insoluble fiber is what comes out as the roughage. So when you're increasing the insoluble fiber, you can cause bowel obstructions, which is this fiber then clumps in your gut and doesn't come out because you're not exercising enough, you're not drinking in enough fluid. You might have an underlying condition that makes your body struggle with the passage and the movement of it, and it just clumps and forms an obstruction in your bowel, and then you literally have to get it surgically removed in most instances, that bowel obstruction. So that's something that we need to be cautious of. Don't do it too quickly. Don't do too much as well. There's a calculation that your healthcare professional will help you, and your dietitian will help you to calculate how much fiber you're meant to take in for your weight, for your body, for your age. There's different recommendations in terms of how much fiber is required in the diet.
Yeah, so when you are fiber maxing, of course, because you're hearing about it, you're following the trend, you're like, yes, I think my gut health would need it. What are the parameters you need to do this in? How do you know if you're doing it in the right way for your individual body and its needs?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question. And that's why I say, please consult a healthcare professional, because when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to health, there is no one size fits all. So what might be good for Larato might not be good for you. You have to have an individualized discussion that helps somebody to determine what makes sense for you, taking into consideration your body and your issues. Mm-hmm. But as I'm trying to think of the English that's just slipping my mind. But what you can do that can be safest is that you can have and eat your foods that are fresh fruits and vegetables. So a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables and your beans. If that's how you are increasing your fiber intake, you're likely to be safer. But when you start adding things like fiber and fiber supplementation, that is, erring on the side that's not such a great idea to do without some advice from a healthcare professional. The other one that I always caution people against is imfino. I don't know, which is your wild,
like wild spinach, wild greens.
Wild spinach, yes. So some of the other wild spinaches and imfino are extremely difficult for our body to digest. So when you're eating those, just get a healthcare professional to speak to you to show you how much you can eat, because those quickly can lead to bowel obstructions. When you're sticking to your normal, what's available in the shops, your kale, your spinach, those ones are still safer. And what I always recommend is that the more raw you're eating the foods, the better, because that also then just adds an added layer. Keep your skins on, keep your peels on, eat it as raw as possible, but stick to normal and normally available foods that is available in the market. When you're going to source something from somebody who sources it from somewhere else, and that's where you need to rather consult and see if it's something that is safe that you can proceed with.
You're saying something very important there, because we always adopt things as soon as we see something online and it becomes a trend. You want to be part of the trend and you adopt it. When we see these health fads online, what would your advice be for us? Because it seems like we adopt these things very, very quickly without cautioning ourselves.
You should. So like I said, fiber is one of those ones where I'm not too upset about it, because the benefits, most of the instances, outweigh the risks when in terms of fiber. What you should look out for is that, am I isolating certain food groups and certain large food groups out of my diet? The minute you find yourself isolating major food groups from your diet, that's where you must be cautious to say, this isn't good, this isn't healthy. The other thing as well is if you are having something repetitive, you understand, where people go on a cabbage diet, for instance, and you're eating just cabbage. Yes, cabbage is a normal, but you're just eating one food group, one thing repetitively over and over again, then you know as well that, this might not be a good idea, and this is not something that I must proceed with. Let me just check with a healthcare professional and see if it's okay. The only exception to that, because now people always come to me, because one thing that I always recommend that people cut out is processed foods. Food that is not naturally occurring, did not appear in nature the way that you are currently consuming it, is a different story. That is something that it's man-made. We've manipulated foods, and there's certain consequences that come with the manipulation of food in its natural state, in its natural form. So that's another thing that you look at. Is this thing that I'm eating, or it's a shake, that it's a manipulation of something that is naturally occurring in nature, and now I'm consuming it? Be careful. You are better off, you are safer off with food as it appears and naturally appears and occurs in nature.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Lerato. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully we take your advice as is, but also those who want to take more professional individual advice, where can they go?
The best place to get hold of me is via my email, which is leratogadebe@gmail.com. And that is LERATORADEBE@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, dietitian Lerato Gadebe, helping us understand this fiber maxing. It's 11:30. Let's bring back File Lengwadi for our sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's start out with Olympics. Team Great Britain, GB, have claimed their second gold medal of the 2026 Winter Olympics as Charlotte Banks and Howie Nightingale stormed to victory in the mixed team snowboard across the Lavinia Snowpark. Just 2 days after Matt Weston secured Britain's first medal of the Games with skeleton gold, Banks and Nightingale delivered another stunning performance to take top spot. The pair, who were crowned world champions in 2023, have now made history as Britain's first Olympic gold medal winners on snow. It marks a landmark moment for Team GB, underlining their growing presence on the Winter Olympic stage. And now cricket news. India continued the T20 World Cup dominance of Pakistan with a thumping 61-run victory in the Group A match of the ICC T20 World Cup in Colombo in Sri Lanka, sealing the defending champions and tournament's favourite sport in the Super 8 stage with 3 wins in 3 games. India have now beaten Pakistan for the 8th time in 9 games across all editions of this competition. The latest fixture between the cricketing heavyweights only took place after Pakistan reversed their decision to boycott the match, having initially said they would not play in response to the ICC's decision to remove Bangladesh from the event for refusing to travel to India. Proteas women have already secured the series, but they haven't and are not satisfied yet. Nadine de Klerk and the squad are hunting a clinical 3-0 sweep against Pakistan in Benoni tonight to prove they are a force to be reckoned with ahead of the next World Cup. The Proteas women are determined to make a habit of not only winning bilateral series but also completing series sweeps ahead of major ICC events, starting with the ongoing T20 series against Pakistan women. South Africa currently lead the 3-match T20 series 2-0, having won the opening 2 matches in Potchefstroom and Benoni last week. De Klerk explains the dressing room pep talk.
I think that's something we spoke about a lot over the last couple of months, basically. Probably didn't have the best bilateral series before. We kind of rock up at World Cups and we shocked the whole world, really, but we knew we were much better than that and capable of winning series as well. So I think winning that Island series, coming here, dominating as well, obviously being under pressure in that first game and having someone like Kayla on debut winning that game just shows that the depth of the squad is growing, and I think just the character of this team as well, and we're finding ways to win, which is great. And I think I said it with the Island series as well, although we're 2-0 up, we want to start whitewashing teams and really dominate world cricket and show them what we're made of. So I think it's really important for us going into the next game as well.
De Klerk missed the first stage of the series while resting after winning the Women's Premier League in India with Royal Challengers Bangalore, RCB, earlier this month. During the second T20 International, she had enjoyed easy contributions in a comfortable 6-wicket victory. A 26-year-old finished with figures of 2-0, 17-0, while also scoring 4 runs not out as the Proteas women chased down a paltry 100 runs to secure the series.
Yeah, I guess it's nice if you win. But yeah, I think it's obviously the first time that I've actually really gotten an opportunity to play. So I guess it was nice to be on the field. And we all know, like in India, it's probably the best place in the world to play cricket, especially for RCB, where you kind of get thousands of people chanting for RCB. So yeah, lovely obviously to get the win. But yeah, I guess you kind of have to put that behind you and focus on the next adventure, which also started not today. So we'll take 2 wins out of the first 2 games.
Finally, with the athletics news, the South African distance runner Maxime Chometon has broken his own national record in the 5-kilometer road race, clocking 13 minutes, 12 seconds at a breakfast run in Seville in Spain. The 25-year-old clipped 1 second off the mark he set in Tokyo last year, finishing well clear of the field. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Let's just do it.
Your life just got easier. Get the Channel Africa app and take us wherever you go. Catch the latest news, enjoy your favorite shows, stream the music you love, and stay connected to the continent. All in one spot, right in your pocket. Simple, quick, and always with you. The Channel Africa app. Download it now on iOS and Android.
Thank you, Fikile Lengwati. Nosipho Zuma is coming next with our latest in business.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Good morning. In your business news this hour, former African Union AU chairperson Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma says the idea behind a borderless Africa means free movement of people and goods, visa-free travel for Africans, and payments in local currencies to boost intercontinental trade. Zuma was briefing the media on the margins of the 39th African Union Summit, which concluded on Sunday at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
One borderless Africa means we are one Africa. We are one Africa, and also we want to trade amongst ourselves as Africans. And trading means moving goods and people. Now, that's why we want borderless, so that traders can be able to move around Africa as they need to. So we want Africans not to need a visa to go to any African country.
A strike by workers at Kenya's main airport in the capital Nairobi is causing flight delays. Kenya Airways says air traffic control delays are affecting certain departures and arrivals at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The labor dispute between the Aviation Workers Union and the Civil Aviation Authority is over worker grievances, including the failure to conclude a collective bargaining agreement. Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is one of the continent's major air transport hubs. South African telecommunications group Telkom has reported an 8.4% increase in third quarter core profit, supported by ongoing cost-cutting measures, and a 7.2% rise in mobile service revenue as consumers continued to buy more data bundles. Telkom, majority owned by the government, said adjusted earnings before interest or tax depreciation and amortization EBITDA rose to $200,960,000, with the EBITDA margin expanding to 29.1% in the 3 months to the 31st of December compared to the same quarter in 2024. The South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, in the KwaZulu-Natal province has commended its social grant beneficiaries for honesty during the grant review process in the current financial year. Now, this after over 70,000 people have been suspended nationally from SASSA's grant payment system, saving the agency just over $31 million. SASSA had planned to conduct 420,000 reviews, and about 240,000 of those have been completed. In KZN so far, about 81,000 out of 93,000 cases have been reviewed. SASSA KZN Executive Manager Thamo Mzobe says KZN beneficiaries have been pleasant to work with.
Really commend KZN SASSA beneficiaries for really cooperating with our process of the reviews. The reviews are regulated by law in terms of Social Assistance Act, and they are regulated also by National Treasury's condition for us to pay a grant to the right person at the right time, at the right place. So we are keen to indicate that it's important that as you apply for grant, you always sign to say once your income status changes.
Meanwhile, Mzobe has urged younger social grant recipients to apply online as they are more proficient in the usage of modern technology.
We encourage the young ones, those young mothers who receive child support grants, who are able to use their cell phones, let them apply at the comfort of their home. And also, if you so happen that you are in our offices, please, there is a kiosk. We call it kiosk, like just in the bank system, where they give you a corner and give you a phone to do whatever you want to do instead of queuing the line. So we have a kiosk, which is a system where you just walk in, you need assistance, there's a person who is always dedicated to assist, then you in and out in no time instead of following the queue.
Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 Naira 352, and Botswana is 13.06. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 447, and in Zambia it's 18 kwacha 122. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5.22. Russia is 76 rubles 62. India is 90 rupees 44. China is 6 yuan 90, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 15 rand 92. $1 is trading at 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,994 and platinum at $2,053 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $67.81 a barrel. Now, for any stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosipho Zuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Moving to a world of African music. This is Channel Africa. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
I know what I saw when no one was watching. I know what you said when no one was around. I know how you felt when you thought you were alone. You are who you say you are. I know what I saw when no one was watching. I know what you said when no one was around. I know how you felt when you thought you were alone. You are who you say you are. It's who you are in the dark. You smile long after the crowd is faded. You laugh at the moments you've been proven wrong. You wait for the right words when your heartbeat is racing. I know who they say you are. But it's who you are in the dark. Who you are. Your reflection never tells a single contradiction. Your words never fall behind their intention, 'cause of who you to hide your face from the light because of who you are.
It's a beautiful ballad by Alicia Olodua, In the Dark. Before that, we brought you the great gang, the Muffins, Umsebenzi Wendoda. It's 11:50 Central Africa time. Let's find out what's going on in the Africa Update after this.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Tumeona chapisho mapema hii leo ya kwamba Wizara ya Mambo ya Nje ya nchini Marekani imesema inapitia upya uhusiano wake na nchi ya Tanzania. Pengine taarifa hii imepokelewaje na wananchi wa Tanzania?
Cha kwanza tumeiona taarifa ambayo imetoka hii leo. Sisi kwetu taarifa hii haikutushangaza wala haikutushtua kwa sababu tulishaona taarifa kama hiyo imetoka kwenye ubalozi wa Marekani nchini Tanzania, ikiwa imetolewa na bwana Tom Pigott.
Umezungumza kwa kina kabisa. Haya ni malalamiko ambayo yamekuwa yakijitokeza mara kwa mara. Unadhani sasa wana hoja ya msingi?
Unauliza maswali mazuri sana na maswali ya tafakari. Maswali ambayo hayawezi kujibiwa kwa dakika moja au kwa siku moja. Ni maswali yanayohitaji utafiti, yanayohitaji kusoma.
Darubini ya Afrika kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11 kamili hadi saa 12 kamili jioni majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
9 to 12 midday Central African Time. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
We have Lulu Gabu here with us to let us know what's coming up on the Africa Update today from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Africa Time. Good morning, Lulu.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Great. I'm good, thank you. Good weekend?
Yes.
Fabulous. All right, so a lot coming up on Africa Update. We are going to be looking at a number of big stories. For instance, in Nigeria, gunmen on motorcycles killed at least 29 people in coordinated dawn attacks in 3 villages, Niger State, northwestern Nigeria. And, we need to find out exactly what's happening there and whether authorities know who these people are. We're going to be speaking to our correspondent, Jonathan James Liam Gon, who'll unpack that for us, because the attackers shooting at residents randomly, burning homes and abducting an unknown number of people. So Jonathan will unpack that for us. And then also we go to Ghana, where Sam George, Ghana Technology Minister, says he's invited Russia's ambassador in Accra to assist in securing Moscow's cooperation to extradite a man accused of filming sexual encounters with women and sharing the footage online without her consent. Without any of them's consent.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's not one woman, it's a number of women. So we'll be unpacking that. We're hoping that this Ghanaian lawyer, who's also an activist, Oliver Barker of Wamoa, would be able to speak to us just to unpack this for us, because it is a big story. And the fact that now just calling on Moscow to assist in his extradition is also quite key. And also here at home, the Uber driver, the young Nigerian man, engineering student who's due to graduate, I think in a month or so. The 3 accused or alleged accused have, refused, they've abandoned their bail application. And, I still can't get over the fact that it's a woman and a young woman and these all look young.
Yeah, they do.
So it's a very, very interesting story. And, the fact that South Africans also are the majority of people who are, helping with the funding. They created a GoFund type of page, and what the spokesperson of the family said, literally the highest percentage is coming from South Africans, which is a good thing. And he emphasized that it's not a xenophobic attack, it's not an Afrophobic attack, it is just criminality.
It's a criminal
act.
It's
a criminal act, which is really, really bad, because it could happen to anyone.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you, Lulu. We're looking forward to the Africa Update. Stay with us here on Channel Africa for more of the latest on the continent. But it is time for us to say goodbye as the On The Move team. It's been a great Monday, and we still have the week ahead to spend some time together and enjoy the chats. Have a great day.
Hey, God bless everyone.
Oh, I'm in a big mood. Call I feel you. Something wake up cool in my body. Tell me what you do. I'm in a big mood. Call I feel you. Something wake up cool in my body. Tell me what you do. Make we go December. But some liquor they do me jet. Get something sweet to put on my head, I swear. Now you the cool my stress, so yeah. Make we go December. But some liquor they do me jet. Get something sweet to put on my head, I swear. Now you the cool my stress, so yeah.
I'm in a big mood. Girl, I dey feel you. I know say all of cost passing money, but I still want you. I'm in a big mood. Girl, I dey want you. Now only you if you cool my body, nobody but you.
I sweat all on you. Like the design you be dripping on me. Maybe that's why I don't feel it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a big mood. Call I feel you. Something wake up cool in my body. Tell me what you do. I'm in a big mood. Call I feel you. Something wake up cool in my body. Tell me what you do. Make we go December. But some liquor they do me jet. Get something sweet to put on my head. That's why. Now you the cool in my stress. So yeah. Make we go December. But some liquor they do me jet. Get something sweet to put on my head. That's why. Now you the cool in my stress. So yeah.
Baby girl, you know. When the money done the show, send a star boy, big whiz, big daddy enter the show. We know they mind person no more, we just come your mind out home. I'll walk, but I'm like 20 standard, yo. We know they mind person, we not gonna keep us look your body, yo. Baby girl, we go day no solo. Nobody fit tell me to leave my baby, yo. Bend every night if it turn to baby, yo. Me and you, when you wake up, girl, you splashing on me, yo. Yeah, Lula sweat all on me, yo. Like the design you be dripping on me, yo. Maybe that's why I don't feel it, yeah.
Oh, I'm in a big mood. Call I feel you. Something wake up cool in my body. Tell me what you do. I'm in a big mood. Call I feel